Perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you join. Welcome to day 5 of Copilot Studio Training Program. Today, we are going to go one more level up from where we left last time. So in previous sessions, specifically, we talked about the different kind of knowledge sources. So in last class, specifically, we talked about one of the file data source and we talked about the public facing websites. So at least now we have the clear understanding what is knowledge base inside any Copilot agent. We have that understanding. Also, last time we talked about one of the more capability that, okay, what is classic orchestration and what is generative AI orchestration. Okay, we have seen the clear difference between classic and generative AI orchestration. So today we are going to explore that more into practical way that, okay, how generative AI orchestration is looking like, how it behaves, and how it is giving us the result. Okay, and what kind of difference you will get when you are having the classic orchestration versus generative AI orchestration. Okay, after that, we'll talk about Copilot Studio licensing in detail because so far we talked about different things into Copilot Studio like knowledge base, any kind of connector or Power Automate connection and many things, right? Now we need to understand the licensing aspect as well that, okay, the overall agent that you are building upon, what kind of licenses you required for that. Then we will start our journey in today's class specifically with the SharePoint as well, because SharePoint also is a very popular data source, and in most of the Copilot Studio agents, we need to use SharePoint. So when you are having SharePoint list or when you are having SharePoint document library, and at that time maybe you need to use the those list or libraries as a knowledge source, how your agent will work and behave. We'll talk about that. We will continue the SharePoint in the next class as well because this is a big topic, because SharePoint as a knowledge source, when you use it, you need to think about so many different things as well. Like you need to think about the security, you need to think about the licensing, you also need to think about the orchestration. So all the things will not be covered into the one session only, so we will extend that into next session as well. So this is the overall agenda for today. So first of all, let me just open up the agent that we just created in the previous class. Okay, and first of all, let me just open up and talk about the orchestration over here. Okay, let's do a quick revision over here. So last time when we created our TextMate agent, this is specifically we trained with our three knowledge sources at this point. One public facing website over here and three files are something we have used to train this particular agent, right? This is a quick revision from the previous class. Now over here, last time I explained you this particular concept, orchestration, right? And by default, what happen here is if your tenant admin hasn't blocked this thing, by default it is enabled. But in this case, like we have set up the environment for the very first time and that setting was disabled at the admin center level. So what happened here is orchestration is disabled by default. So this agent is called as classic agent, means that all the responses that are generated over here, which is coming as a classic orchestration. And how classic orchestration work and generative AI orchestration work, this is what we have looked into the previous session. We looked at this particular difference that, okay, how my generative orchestration and classic orchestration works whenever I have the different topic or a child agent or different type of tool or knowledge or these things. Okay, this is what we have seen in the previous class. At the time, I also told you that you will not be able to relate more because we haven't seen the practical demonstration around that. Okay, so now let me show you the practical demonstration of that so you will get a better understanding around that. Okay, so first of all, let me do one quick thing over here. So this is my TextMate agent that we started last time, right? Let me click on taste option over here at this point. Okay, and observe this thing over here. First of all, what I'm doing here is I just enable my debug mode and track between topics both together over here. Okay, and let me do one more thing over here. Let me take a screenshot of this particular screen. Okay, so that you will get a better understanding around that when we look at the comparison. Okay, after enabling the mode. Okay, so I just enable it. I just take this screenshot. I'm just saving this screenshot. Okay. Next screenshot I wanted to take as, we have the different topics over here, right? Like our system topic or custom topic, right? Let me do one thing. Let me just duplicate this tab and let me just go to one of the previous agent that we have created in the previous episode as well, which is our Care Connect agent, where we have used the different stuff, right? So let me just go to the agent section and let me open my Care Connect as well. Okay, and over here let me go to the topics, because there we have created this two custom topic, right? Book an appointment. So let me take that screenshot as well. Okay, because to understand the difference I need to take this screenshot, so you will get a clear understanding that when you enable that mode, what kind of differences you will be able to see there. Okay, so first of all, let's open up the TextMate and let me just simply ask the question over here that, okay, how can I log my tax return? My tax return. Okay, let me just ask this simple question over here to the agent and let's see what kind of answer it is giving to me. Okay, so look at this pattern, that how in the classic mode of the agent, how it is answering. So basically it is calling your conversational boosting system topic. Okay, and basically it will go to create generative answer node and use this knowledge source that are configured over here and answering it out over here. Okay, this is the behavior of the classic orchestration. Okay, how classic orchestration works? It basically works in a fashion that topics are selected based on the query with the trigger phrases. Okay, it will not directly search the knowledge. Knowledge can be always be searched as a fallback topic, which means that our conversational boosting topic is triggered and from that generative answer is going to trigger. This is how the classic mode works. Okay, now let's do and enable the generative mode. So you will get an understanding that what it is looking like. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, first of all, I'm going to the TextMate agent. Okay, and to turn on the generative AI orchestration mode, you just need to turn on this switch over here. So I'm just turning this on. Okay, after turning it on, it will take some moments in order to reflect your changes. Okay, sometimes it reflect suddenly, sometimes it will take around 2 to 3 minutes in order to make that changes reflected. And remember one thing, whenever you are changing the mode of your orchestration, make sure you publish your agent afterwards. Okay, so I'm just publishing my agent over here. So, and it is saying that, okay, it will change it across every channel. I'm just clicking on publish at this point. Okay, let it to be published. Will take few moments because we just changed the orchestration model and now we are using generative AI model. Now, what this generative AI orchestration will do? Okay, theoretical concept we have already looked at in the previous class. Okay, but the simple is, let me just read this thing out, right? So whenever you are using the generative AI to determine how your agent respond, can make the conversation more natural and fluid for the user. Basically, it select the right topics, tools, and other agent and knowledge sources accordingly. So this is how simply it works. They try to explain that into this kind of paragraph, which I just explained to you, that whenever a user sends a message, your agent select one or more tool, topic, or other agent or knowledge sources to prepare its response. Multiple factor determine the selection, not only just one. In classic orchestration, whatever you make as a query, it only look at the topic, whether it matches properly or not. It goes to the topic, it didn't find it, call the system topic, then it generate the answer from your knowledge source and giving you the response. Okay, it follows that whole cycle. But here what it will do, like whenever I'm making any query, okay, it will not search only topic, it will combine all the result. It will look at your knowledge source, it will look at your action, it will look at your tool, everything it looks and try to give you the answer in a faster fashion. Okay, let me read this again. The most important factor is the description of the topic, tool, agent, and knowledge source. That's the reason why I told you in the beginning when we started creating the agent that you need to be very descriptive. That's how it is trying to try to able to understand the natural language properly. Okay. Other factors that include the name of topic, tool, agent, or knowledge source, or any input or output parameter and their names and description. Description make it possible for your agent to be more accurate whenever the associated the user intent with the tool, other agent and topics. You don't need to predict all other ways a user might indicate what they need. Okay, so when an agent is configured to use the generative orchestration, it select one or more tools, topics, or other agent or knowledge source to handle the queries or autonomously respond to the event. If multiple tool agents or topics are selected, the agent call them in sequence after generating any question to ask user for the missing information. Okay, now, this is what the theoretical concept looks like, right? Now, we already enabled it, and while I was explaining you this overall thing, almost 1-2 minutes happened already. Okay, so now it's time to check this thing out. Okay, I'm just refreshing the screen as well over here so that we will make sure that we will get the correct result while we are testing. Okay, so I'm just refreshing the screen, and now let's make a call. And now I will come show you the screenshot comparison as well. Okay, so you will get an understanding that now we enable the mode. After that, what changes happen to your agent? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you one thing here, that this is your agent, right? And this is what where we are testing our agent, right? Now, if you look at this thing over here, right? And if you enable this over here, okay, debug mode is there. Okay, but this is something which is newly introduced over here. Okay, and this is called as an activity map inside the Copilot Studio. Okay, now let me open up the screenshot that we took before enabling this agent. Okay, so this is my screenshot. Let me just minimize a little bit over here so you can see it clearly side by side. Okay, so this is my existing screenshot with the classic mode. Okay, and this is what I'm getting with the generative AI mode. So you can see that in classic mode there is no activity section over here. Okay, I can't see any activity over here, while here you can see this activity mode. That is the first key difference. Okay, second difference is when you open this thing out over here, let me just open up the screenshot again. Okay, and over here you can see that this particular box. Okay, so you can see debug mode is still there in both the part, but track between the topics, it's not there into the generative mode. Instead of that, the activity map is there. Okay, why? Because generative AI agent, it's not just based on the topic, right? So while you are testing it, just go to the appropriate topic and find the answer. Of course it will call the topic, but it can be anything. So instead of just being specific about the topic, they have introduced the generic word called this activity map. Okay, so this is the first level of difference you have seen. Okay, now what's the other topic level difference you will see? I will show you that as well, so you will get better idea. Okay, and while we are testing this, let me do one thing. For other agent that we have created, like care connect agent in the previous session, right? Let me do one thing for that as well. Let me turn on the orchestration as well, generative AI orchestration, and let me publish that afterwards. So meantime, while we will taste the other one, it's also been enabled for the generative AI orchestration. Okay, and we can see the more difference as well later on. Okay, so right now I am on the text mate agent. Okay, and now what I'm doing is I'm now asking the query over here, that okay, same query that I asked into the classic mode. Okay, let me ask the same query into generative mode over here. Okay, so I'm just asking how can I lodge text return. Okay, and now observe this thing, that how it is going to get an answer. Okay, and this activity map is something, just click on that. So that activity map will start over here, and it will just show you this kind of message, and inside that you already have the track between the topics, right? Earlier in the classic mode, everything was at the first plate itself, that it was always showing you that okay, because there is no other thing happen in the classic mode. It always look it and matches your topic and just answer it, and from topic it is calling your knowledge base and it is answering. But here it's different. So although they have the option over here as well, and you just need to click on that, so it will show you whole activity, that how your agent is behaving. And by default it is showing you that it started over here, because agent is started. Now I didn't hit enter so far, so I just type my question here, and now I'm hitting enter, and let's see what will happen. Okay, so as soon as you hit enter, what it will do to get the answer, let's see. See what it try to do here. You can clearly see that it looked at your knowledge sources automatically here. It didn't go to any topic to find an answer, because in your agent you configured already four knowledge sources, one SharePoint, three files, right? So what it is doing, it is showing that reviewing all four sources and trying to find out the answer. Okay, so it give you the entire graphical representation to you here, that exactly how does it make the query and how long time it did take to give you the result and everything. Okay, so what it did is, in your activity map you can see this thing. It clearly show you that, okay, when you make this query, this is what you get as a response, and what are the reference sources it uses. It uses all these responses, and it is also telling you that, okay, I try to search over here as well in these places, and it is just giving you the answer over here. All right, so instead of going to the topics, it directly look at the knowledge source and find out the answer for you. Okay, now let me just do some more information over here, like GST for Australia and tax lab information for the citizens. Okay, now let's see. Now what will be, it will make the second query over here. Okay, and see, it try to make a two sources over here. It try to find out the answer in a more faster way. So you know my question was, like this, but what it did, automatically it understand this concept that, okay, Dhruvin has asked two questions within the one statement. He has asked something for GST, he has asked something from tax lab, and parallelly it started making that search to happen. So in the response wise, it is much more faster than the classic mode of orchestration. Okay, now let's see the final result. So you can see it combined both the result and show it to you at the end like this, but parallelly it started making both the search result over here. So at the end when it combines, it is showing you the final result. Okay, with classic mode you don't have that capability. In classic mode, what happen is, first it will check your topic, it will go to your fallback topic, it will go to the generative mode, then it is looking at your knowledge source. In knowledge source, it is trying to find the answer one by one, it is trying to merge it, and finally it is going to show you the result. Okay, while in this case, directly it is looking to your knowledge sources and just trying to give you the answer over here into this fashion over there. Okay, so this is how the generative orchestration work in the terms of finding the result from your knowledge sources. Okay, this is the difference we need to understand here. Okay, because on internet as well, when you search about Copilot Studio Orchestra, you find lots of content, but it doesn't have that much of clarity that how exactly work. But this is what I wanted to show you, that okay, classic mode, that is how it works. Generative mode, this is how it works. Okay, now let's see some more differences. So already for Care Connect as well, we enable the orchestration. Okay, and we already publish as well. Let me just refresh the screen one more time and let me show you some more differences over here, so you will get a better understanding around that. Okay, so let me first open up the screenshot and then we will go here. So this is the screenshot that we have taken before we have enabled our generative AI orchestration. And over here you can see that this is one trigger that we have in the one of the topic called book an appointment. Okay, and this is what I'm having the different phrases over here. Okay, now let's see the other difference. So now I'm going to the topics over here. Okay, and now let me just open up the same topic that we have, book an appointment topic. Okay, and now look at the trigger over here, that what you can see here. Okay, so in this trigger, now it become more generic. So in the classic mode, what happen here is we need to provide the different trigger phrases, which means that you need to manually enter that, okay, what kind of possibility may user can ask to this Copilot agent, that okay, book an appointment, or I am having the fever issue, or I'm having the dentist issue, blah blah blah. They can ask any kind of statement, and based on that you are providing more and more input to your trigger. So this is what we have in the screenshot for the classic mode. Okay, let me just minimize this a little bit so you can see it clearly. Okay, so this is we had in the classic mode. Okay, and now when you convert it into generative AI orchestration mode, instead of These trigger phrases, you need to provide the description because it is supporting the natural language. So more and more good prompt you provide, basically you will get a better answer. So here, when you turn the mode, it automatically generates some sort of description for you that, okay, here you are writing that this tool can handle the queries like book an appointment, book a doctor booking, health issues, need medical help, appointment. Okay, I can add some more thing as well. This will help people to book their appointment with the doctor. Okay, now what power you will get? Generally in the classic mode, you have added some trigger phrases like appointment, schedule, right? Based on this words, it is picking up that, okay, what you are trying to say. But here, what it will do, it will trying to use more generative AI and trying to understand more natural language so that perfect topic is getting triggered over there. Okay, now I'm just saving this out. Okay, and now let's taste it over here as well. So you will get to understand that, okay, what kind of response you are getting. Okay, sometimes what happens is you are directly typing in your agent that, okay, this is my booking reference ID, tell me the booking status, right? Now what happens is whenever you are trying to type this kind of whole statement, you know sometimes with the classic mode, you added the trigger. Maybe some words pick up in the trigger. Maybe if the word is not there in the trigger, it is not being able to understand properly. But now with this one, now generative AI orchestration mode, it just look at your description and give the answers according to that. Okay, and it can be applied anywhere. So over there as well, like, okay, now the thing is that no matter now any of your node that you are having, right? Let's say for an example, here we have book an appointment. Okay, so this is where I'm just creating an entry over here. Okay, so let's say for an example over here, when you go to the property section over here, you can see this kind of stuff, right? Now over here it is also providing you the option that usage description. Okay, which means that sometimes you just want that when user can ask anything into natural language, it understand the specific connector action or it understand the specific thing. You can just ask over here that what is the purpose of it. So sometimes if user is asking anything which is not maybe matches with your trigger topic or something, it will look at the inside action as well, and it is finding that, okay, this is somewhere it is coming related to booking stuff, so maybe I need to call this topic, and it is asking the necessary information for it. Okay, so maybe you can just describe here that uh, this is the place where I am creating booking or scheduling of patient's appointment. Okay, you can provide this kind of description as well. So when generative AI is enabled, it will be able to understand that. But in classic orchestration mode, here if you do not, if you provide even the description, it will not be able to follow because it always look at your triggers first. Okay, so I'm just clicking on save at this point, and now let's try to taste this overall thing and see how it works. Okay, it take longer time than expected. Let it to be saved first. Okay, it's saving in the background. Let it to be. Okay, so it's being saved perfectly. And now let's try to see what we are getting here. Okay, so now again, I'm going to the, let me just do one thing. Save one more time. Let's go to the overview section and let me just turn on this activity map as well over here. And now let's see how my agent will be behaving. Okay, so I'm just going here. It started already. Okay, and now let me ask some sort of question over here. So I have a fever problem and want to connect with doctor. Okay, I'm just entering this kind of more natural language over here. Okay, and let's see how it behaves. See, it automatically understand here in this case that, okay, you ask something like you have some sort of health issues or something, and now you need to connect with your doctor. Okay, so it understand that topic from whatever natural language that you provided, and it just call your book an appointment topic over here. Okay, and just showing you like this. Okay, now it is asking me that what type of doctor you need. So maybe physician. So I'm just entering this, and it automatically identifies general physician. Is it an emergency? No, it's not an emergency. This is how it, simply start triggering the stuff. Would you like to book an appointment? Yes. Sorry, I did not answer it properly. So it asked me again. Okay. So when you want to book it? So 15th August 2025 at 5 p.m. Let's see. It understand that, and then it asks me the adaptive card as well. I'm submitting this, and it will create an entry into the data source. And this is completed now. It's showing me this whole activity that it's being completed. Okay. Now it's just giving me this ID as well. Okay. I'm still in the same one, and I'm just telling me that tell me the booking status. Okay. And now let's see what it will do for us. Okay, so we enable Tropic as well, and you can see that it directly call this particular trigger based on the response that you have provided. In trigger, you have this thing, so it just understand this thing, and it just asks the reference number, and it is trying to find out via your flow and just giving you the status. Okay, but the all and average, what I'm trying to say here is just based on the general language, it will try to call your whole stuff. And you can see this whole activity is also being triggered over here. That exactly how it work. It will show you that detailing as well to you over here. Okay, so this is how the generative orchestration will work inside the world of Copilot Studio. And now probably you will be able to understand at least the topics part, knowledge part over here. Okay, and most of the time child, and this is what we haven't covered so far. Tools as well, we haven't used drastic tools at this point, so you will not be able to relate it. Okay, but in classic orchestration, this functionality is not supported. Tools cannot be called as well. I mean, just remember simple word if I wanted to say between these two. Classic will always work on the topic base, where generative is more working on the Gen AI or more on the natural language model. Okay. And let me tell you, in the real industry project, in 90% of the cases, we must need to enable the orchestration over here, because without orchestration, I mean, you can't achieve the great functionality in the Copilot Studio. Okay, because moving forward in the future classes, when we build the autonomous agent, right? At the time, we are going to provide this particular agent as so many instruction that okay, agent, you need to go here first, then you need to go here for then you need to find this thing, then you need to find this thing and do this thing. So entire instructions that you are providing, and instructions are only supported with the generative orchestration mode. Classic orchestration doesn't support the instruction. Okay, instruction in terms of to do specific task. I'm not just talking about the generic thing. Okay, so this is where it makes the difference between the classic and generative AI orchestration. Okay, this is just one more level up that I just wanted to show you, because first two classes we created just a classic orchestration agent. So when you enable that mode, what kind of visual differences you can see, and internally how it call, you can see those clear differences, and the final result is in front of your eyes. Okay, so this is all about the Copilot Studios orchestration mode. Again, very important topic. With most of the interviews, people are asking again classic mode versus generative mode. Now the question arises that okay, Is there any cost difference as well on that? So yes, the cost is more when you use the generative AI orchestration mode. And how much more? That something is my next topic, all about the licensing on the Copilot Studio. So we'll talk about that in detail over that place. But at this point, I would like to pause here for a moment. Just give me some reactions. At least now, conceptually, you are clear about the classic mode versus generative mode orchestration for Copilot Studio. At least you get the base level understanding around that. Just give me reaction so I understand you are following with me so far. Okay, and now I'm open the stage for Q&A. If anyone has any question, at least up to this topic, classic and generative, I'm happy to take your question over here. Otherwise, we are good to go with the licensing part, which is more on the costing part. Okay, so I can see first raise hand from Sri Lekha. You have question?
Hi, Driven. Good evening. So you said right, a classic orchestration has only a trigger on topics. So,
Correct.
so it will go through step-by-step topics. For example, I have a one question. It is related to trigger one, but I didn't ask first question directly. I went to second question. So it will go to first, then it will go
Yes,
to come to second.
yes, that's
It
correct.
is, yeah, it is
Yes.
like a sequential
Yes, topics
step.
are always executed sequential, Srilekha. So no matter, I mean, in which mode you are in. Let's say, for an example, if it is matching with your trigger topic, at the time the topic will start executing in a sequence because that's the purpose of the topic. When we look at the theoretical definition of the topic, it was clearly mentioned at that time that it is a sequential series of the question which you think your user may need to answer, because everything will be follow specific sequence, and later on the stages you need the previous inputs value as well. That's how the topic works. So yes, to your answer, it will always execute from the beginning.
In both, right,
Yes,
AI
in
and
both the cases. Yes, in this mode as well. Like, when it calls trigger, it will execute the sequential. But, in upcoming classes, when we are using some more tool like Dataverse creation process as a tool, or we will use separate independent, we have this tool section. We haven't covered this yet. Okay, so let's say for an example, if you have used any tool over here, at the time it will pick up that tool automatically. But at this point, we don't have that functionality in any one of the agents. So, it will execute from the beginning itself. It will not just pick it up from the in between the topic. Okay, that's the case.
okay, no.
Perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Anand.
Hi, Dravin. Dravin, first I want to understand about what changes you made in the Dataverse section when we open the generative AI enablement.
Sorry, I
So
didn't
you
make any. Okay, I didn't make any change. I'm just
description.
telling you. I just telling you that okay, when you enable the generative AI, it just provide you the more capability. Like if you go here, let me just open up the topic. I just provided some description over here. I mean, it's not necessary to provide, but what I did is simply this is where we have the data section, right? So I just provided the meaningful name to it, that okay, this is all about something like book and appointment. And here I just provided that okay, what exactly it is
Okay,
doing, because it is understanding, because Gen AI model is basically understanding even the description of the inside action as well. You will get this better context around when we do some more complex agents in the upcoming class. So what happened here is, Sri Lekha asked the same question, I mean similar question, that her question is like topic was executed, from the beginning, most of the time when it is triggered. Okay, now what happened is whenever we use some sort of tools, so right now we didn't use any kind of tool, we just connected using one connector, we just created the data section and all. But in future
correct.
classes, when we use any tool or something, and maybe that tool is enabled specifically in the one of your topic, okay, at the time at the agent level here in the instruction, when you provide that okay, when someone is asking you to book the appointment, call this action directly. So it will not go to that topic and execute all, it will directly try to call that new tool that you have introduced over there. So that's the power you will get with the more natural language over here in the Copilot Studio. So again, these two examples are unable to answer that thing because we don't have that much of complexity here at this point. But autonomous agent, when we start from the seventh class onwards, you will get a more clarity that what exactly the instruction it is following. Okay, so that is the purpose why I just give you the at this point I just provide you that okay, moving forward in the future class when we enable Gen AI,
Correct.
probably we will provide this instruction as well. So when we use it, it's understand that as well. Okay.
And one more thing, what means like, can you click on the trigger of any of the agent? I want to see if we click on edit. It is not an option what we get in the classic, right? So in classic, when we click on edit, it gives us
Yes.
to fill
Yeah.
the phrases, right? But
Yes.
in
Yes.
generative, when you click on edit, it is not giving the same. It is giving
No, no, no.
different.
Yeah, that's the difference as well, because this is what it is providing. I mean, uh, modern. I mean, this
Yeah, this
generative
one.
AI orchestration is always follow based on the description. It will not like a trigger phrase because trigger phrases are very limited. Like you can
Hmm.
just, how much you can think as a human for the trigger phrases, right? You can add maximum 10, 20, 50, right?
Correct.
But
Correct.
when you provide description and when you explain this to someone, it tried because behind the scene it's whole large language model to understand that thing. So that's the another difference that I told, that it is totally working on the description base rather than just on the trigger phrases. That's the another difference
No,
over here.
so
And
when we click on this edit, what these three options you will be explaining in the next topic, means like next classes or somewhere else?
which
Because these
one? This
three, this edit, yeah. When you click on, yeah, select a variable in this thing,
just
this
a
area
minute.
only.
So yeah, so basically this agent chooses. So what happen here is like it is just like it's nothing like any kind of specific trigger. It's just like okay, what happen is this will exactly work like this. Now over here, this is what you can see. It is more on the autonomous agent part. So when we go on to that part, we'll talk about that. But just consider right now that is just like the same trigger that you have in your classic one. Similar way it is
Okay.
here. Only difference is description. Don't confuse yourself at this point on this part. This is coming again into the next class onwards. So we'll talk about the
Okay. Okay.
different
Yeah,
kind of
that only
trigger
next
change.
class.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine, Dravin.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, great. I can see one question in the chat window. When should orchestration be enabled or disabled? Let me tell you, simple word. Uh, this is again I haven't covered so far. So there is a concept in the Copilot Studio called autonomous agent, which is providing you not just chatbot, but more than that. Like you can do any kind of automation with that. So my take on that is if your task is just to look at the knowledge source and if you want to save your cost, turn off that. That's not an issue if your agent is not that much of complicated. But in case if your agent uh, requires something where you know more instruction that you are providing over here right now, instruction as well, we haven't added such so much instruction. Moving forward in upcoming class onwards, mostly from seventh class, here instruction will be 50-60 line of instruction. It's a step by step instruction. It's that okay, go to this database, fetch the id, combine the result, call my custom connector, and give me the final result. When you have when you need that capability in your Copilot Studio, there is no other option left. You must need to enable the orchestration. So if I say if your task is just like a chat experience and looking out the knowledge sources with trigger phrases, maybe you are good to go with the classic one. But 90% of the cases we need to enable because that's how we need the power of the AI and Copilot. So we must need to enable. And Microsoft is also moving forward. I'm thinking like currently, during this batch July 2025, we are having this enable disable option. Maybe in the future, by default, they already documented that this is one block feature at the admin center level. That's why it's not enabled by default. Otherwise, as a user, you will not even realize that this is enabled. Maybe in the future, it is a possibility that they will stop the classic mode of orchestration. By default, all the agents that you are creating, it is generative AI orchestration. Currently, they have it because some licensing implications, but moving forward, because they are constantly changing the licensing as well, they make the licensing more cheaper now. Okay, in future maybe there is a chance it become more cheaper, and there is no difference between classic and orchestration. They just turn off that switch as well. So future perspective, Gen AI is the future. So make sure, I mean, I would say that if you really want to use the power of Copilot Studio, this feature should be enabled. Without that, you can't be able to achieve more. Okay. Hope that is giving you answer, Jonas. All right, perfect. So this is all about this classic and uh, generative AI orchestration. Okay, now let's see about the difference, cost-wise difference. Okay, and let's talk about the licensing in detail over here. Okay, for that, let me just open one of the document first, and let me just open up some sort of official Microsoft documentation, so you will get a better idea around that. And always remember one thing: people who are watching the recording or people who are attending the live, this is the latest uh, guide I have up to date over here with some points. Okay, make sure that whenever you are using that in the future, you do not just consider this as your reference, because this is constantly being changes. In last 6 months, licensing has been changed by 2 to 3 times with the so many different conditions. So always I have provided this link over here that download the latest licensing guide. So when you click on that, it will directly open the official Microsoft guide, and you can see here the month when it is up to date. So this is July 2025. Right now we are in July. This is being up to date. So you need to always refer this as your base reference for any kind of licensing question you have. Never ever refer the my notes, because right now in July I updated. Maybe in September they introduce something, it will not be up to date into that note. So probably you just need to look at the latest Microsoft guide only on that. Okay, because Copilot Studio licensing changes very frequently. Okay, because still this product is new, right? Once it becomes stable, probably it will not change that drastic level. Okay, now over here they have provided this whole information. And earlier what happened is, when I take this batch in the month of January, this licensing was a part of the Power Platform licensing. Now they just separated this guide completely out. So entire license related question will be answered into this 20-page of licensing guide. I'm going to upload this licensing guide as well as provided link as well. You can directly download it from the site. Okay. Now over here, how many things that they have covered? We don't need to consider each and everything here, but what are the things we need to understand as a part of licensing model? Let's try to understand that. Okay, and there is one concept called build message, like how your Copilot Studio is charging you against the messages. Again, we will split that topic into two parts. In today's class, we will talk about few things. In future class as well, we will talk about few things. Okay, so let's try to understand that. Okay, so this is the official licensing guide that I have here. Okay, and now let me just talk about first of all the licensing, and then talk about some features in detail. So this is the very generic table. Right now, Copilot Studio licenses are divided into main two parts. One is Azure-based licensing, which is pay-as-you-go meter. This is similar like your postpaid balances. So you subscribe for Vodafone for your monthly internet and call and SMS, right? And you didn't pay anything to them in advance. At the end of the month, they are generating the bill that okay, how many messages you did, how many calls you made, how much data you used, right? And based on that, they generate the bill, they send it to you, and you need to pay that bill. It's like a prepaid option, kind of, sorry, postpaid option like this. Okay. Similarly, in the Copilot Studio as well, they come up with the one option that pay as you go meter, which means that let's say you build the chatbot, you publish the chatbot, your user has started using the chatbot, and how many conversation they are doing with the chatbot. That okay, during one session, one person has asked 10 question. So they have this cost that 10 question they ask, it answer 10 question. So 10 multiplied by this 0.01 cent. So how much they get it over here, like $0.1 for that particular conversation. And at the end of the month they will sum up everything and give you the final summary that okay, overall in this month user has asked 500 question, 5,000 question to the agent, and this is what our usual charge is. And this first, like, okay, you are being paid with the $50 of the charge for this particular agent, or $500 of charge for this agent. Okay, so this is how it calculates. .01 per message. This is the cost for pay as you go message. Okay, now this is first plan. Okay. Second plan is, again, most popular plan is the second plan. Okay. Now, second plan is Copilot Studio message pack subscription. Okay. Now, what is this? Let me tell you. This is similar like your Power Pages, or if you are in the Power BI world, it's similar like your Power BI premium license, which you purchase at the enterprise level. Okay. So generally what happen here is, with this license, they will provide you some capacity that, okay, for your entire organization, you are purchasing one pack of Copilot message pack subscription. And with that per message pack, you will get 25,000 of messages. And the cost of that is $200 per message pack per month. Okay. Now let's try to understand this statement properly over here. Okay. So over here, if we read this description in a detail over here, Copilot Studio message pack subscription. Okay, so pricing is $200 per pack per month. Okay, so just imagine, I'm just opening one of my notepad so you will get understand it clear. Okay, so it's come up with a package. So one pack equal to 25,000 messages. Okay, and the pricing is 200 US dollar per month. Okay, it didn't provide any carry forward capability. So if you use just 20,000, so it's not something that 5,000 will be carry forward into next month. It's like per month. Every month you will be loaded with the 25,000 of fresh capacity at your tenant level, organizational level. It's not tied to any user. It's tied to your entire tenant. Okay, no matter how many agents you are building and how many users are using, if it is within this limit, it will just execute this quota for the answering the question. Okay, so this is one thing. Now just imagine what's the average cost over here that you are finding. Okay, so let me just open up the calculator over here as well so you will get a better idea. So $200 you are paying. Okay, and how much message you are getting? 25,000 messages you are getting. So what's the cost for per message? It's 0.008 cent per message. Okay, so approximately the costing will fall over here like 0.008 USD per message if you just consider in a very generic word. Okay, while if you are comparing the other licensing model that we have in pay as you go, right, it is again more costlier, almost like a double than what we are getting over here with this back messages. Okay, so here it you will get a more benefit. Okay, now remember one thing. Now just imagine, now the you have another question in the mind that what if, Dhruvin, I'm finished the 25,000 messages. So let me tell you, it always come up with a pack plan, which means that, okay, one pack is coming with a 25,000. Okay, if you are buying two pack over here, right, so you will get another 25,000 messages. Okay, and again, your overall cost for this as well, 200 US dollar per month. So overall now you are paying 400 US dollar. Okay, and you are getting 50,000 message as your overall capacity. Okay, so this is how at the tenant level it will work. It's not tied to any user. Okay, that is number one thing. All right, pricing and messages I talked about. Okay, this is official pricing. When you actually go for buying, they are offering some discount as well to many organization. And this is like official pricing, like one pack, two pack, like this. Okay, sometimes many organizations I have seen, they are buying the licensing in a bulk, that okay, they are buying 10 packs altogether. So they are offering a very bulk discount on this $200 pricing as well. I mean, it's almost like 50, 60% of the discount they are offering. So it's again depending on your vendor vendor, depending on your licensing partner with the Microsoft, they are offering you this price. But this is the idea. Okay. Now the thing is that it's not only sufficient to this capacity pack. Okay. Now let me tell you, let me divide this thing into two parts. So number one, you plan your message, which is for your users who are consuming your Copilot agent. Okay. You require this one. All right. Now, whenever you buy this capacity pack, that doesn't mean that everyone in your organization able to develop the Copilot Studio agent for by their own. Okay, because otherwise, because it's a tenant based capacity, so it's not something that, okay, I assign to the tenant so everyone in the organization will be able to create. I'm just talking about the developer perspective. Developer means opening the Copilot Studio, creating topics, creating instruction, connecting data source, connecting Power Automate, blah blah blah, all this capability, right? So developer is basically building the Copilot agent. So developer level, what license you require? There is one license available which is called as this license. Let me just bring this up over here, which is calling as Copilot Studio user license. Okay, let me copy this term over here and paste it over here. Copilot Studio user license. That is something which user will require. Now, what's the cost for that? The cost for this license is $0. Means you don't need to pay anything to the for the developer, because you already buy this capacity package. Okay, and there is a specific terminology for that. So generally when you talk about the capacity, that licensing is called as Copilot Studio message pack subscription. And any developer who want to create an agent, for them you require this license, which is Copilot Studio user license. There is no cost for that. Okay, and you can get unlimited license for Copilot user, which means that no matter out of 5,000 people you are having 1,000 developer or 3,000 developer, you will get this unlimited licenses over there for the developer to assign with. Okay, this is the generic idea, and why they have done that, let me tell you as well the reason for that specific thing. What happened here is, right, uh, generally when this type of capacity pack applied at the tenancy level, okay, sometimes there is an issue of governance. Like, okay, it's assigned, so means that, okay, let's say for an example, any business users just go to the Copilot Studio and start building the agent, right? That's not fair, because that person is not developer. And that's how you will lose the control at your organizational level, that, okay, how many people are building the Copilot agent, you really don't know. Let's say everyone will start building the Copilot agent, right? Maybe it is a possibility that capacity pack that you have purchased at your organizational level, it is not sufficient to survive all the needs. So maybe you will just exhaust your capacity very soon, or maybe just within few days your capacity is reaching up to the point, right? So at the organizational level, you want to manage, you want to restrict that, okay, only the developers who are having the knowledge on this subject matter expertise on Copilot Studio, only they need this capability to build the agent. And that's the reason they have introduced this license, so that admin can assign to the specific people, so that only they can build the Copilot Studio and consume this capacity. I mean, consumption level after publishing, users can of course do it, but at the development side, not everyone can, able to do the whole agenting thing for themselves. So that's the reason why we need Copilot Studio user license as well. Okay, now let's see what's the other capability that you are getting when you are buying with this licenses. So mainly these are the two core licenses at the Copilot Studio license. Okay. Now, there is one more thing that they have introduced over here, that, okay, if you are having Microsoft 365 Copilot license, in the very first class I explained you what is M365 Copilot. It's like in your Word, in your PowerPoint, in your SharePoint, in your entire Office suite, you are having the common Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, so if and that license is again $30 per user, it is a user based plan, not at the tenant level plan. Okay, let's say if you have that plan, and let's say if you want to utilize the Copilot Studio capability, what features you are getting free with this $30, no matter if you have this license or this license. Let's say any of these licenses you don't have, but you have M365 Copilot license with $30 per user per month, then at least you will get some sort of limited capability over here with Copilot Studio. Let's try to explore that. I'm not too much worried about at this point on this licensing because it's nothing to do more with the Copilot Studio. We will see at the end, but let's see the what other capability we are getting here. Okay, with both of this model, first of all, it will number of messages, how much pay as you go, which means that it's totally depend how much prompt you are doing. 25,000 per pack, how many pack you purchase, it's totally up to you. Generative AI capability is available in both the cases. You can create and publish your own agent and agent flow anywhere, both the places. Okay, create and publish your agent and plug in to extend M365 Copilot. It's not been available over here because the basic idea here is M365 Copilot means the Copilot in your Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Okay. If you want to integrate that thing over there, you require this license, M365 Copilot license. With any of the Copilot Studio licensing, you will not be able to do that because that's how Microsoft has separated your Office, I mean M365 Copilot versus Copilot Studio licensing. Okay, so if you want to integrate or extend that to your M365 Copilots, probably you need Copilot Studio licensing. I mean M365 Copilot license separately. Just with Copilot Studio, you can't be able to do that. Okay, then when this point, the output you create is your own agent and your own. So it's simple. What they are saying is simply that where you are getting the response basically. So again, whatever agent or chatbot that you build, in that you will get the response. It just mean by that it's same for everywhere. Okay. Then Power Automate Cloud Flow. Okay. Now the thing is that Cloud Flow as action in the agent is only been supported by this particular license. So when you are on the pay as you go meter, Power Automate, you require a separate license. But over here with the Copilot Studio, it's natively included. So you don't require any other Power Automate license separately. So it will provide you two options that, okay, within this message capacity pack, it will consume some of the messages and execute your Power Automate Cloud Flow action over there. So how much message it will consume, that is something we will look at on the later part of the same licensing. But this is what it is. But with this and this, you can't be able to get that capability. Okay, standard connector, premium connector, everywhere, obviously, because already you are buying a license, right? Then on-premise and cloud source as well, you will be able to connect Dataverse as well, Dataverse for Copilot Studio as well. You will be having that managed environment as well. It will support everywhere and publish. So you can publish in all these channels which are available as a natively in both the license. While in the case of M365 Copilot, I mean, wherever you are having your M365 experience, like in Word or PowerPoint or your Office search, only at that places you can publish that Copilot. But here in Copilot Studio and Copilot Studio Message Pack, you can publish it to anywhere. Like even if you configure this chat agent with your Facebook or WhatsApp or Telegram, or let's say if you, there are so many other platforms as well provided. So if you go here, if you go to the channel section for any agent, these are the different places where you can integrate your agent, like on your website, on your Teams or M365 Copilot, or in SharePoint or web app or native app or Facebook or Slack, Telegram, Twilio. So many different options are provided over here. So that this is the places where you can integrate it. But and you know both the plans are supporting that thing already. Okay. Now, let me just go again to the licensing guide. Okay, so this is all about the feature set that is offering over here. All right, so simply, as I said, two licenses mainly. Number one is Azure based pay as you go. Second is Copilot Studio message pack licenses. And if you want to assign it to any developer, you need to assign this Copilot Studio user license so that they can start developing the app. Okay. Now the question arises that, okay, now let's say when you buy the licenses, what kind of other facility it is providing? Okay. And sometimes, you want to understand that, okay, whenever you are doing one session, that how many messages it is consuming from the overall capacity pack. Let's say if you want to understand, let me tell you, they have created one tool as well for that. They have provided into the same licensing guide, that link on page number 8 at this point. So that's how you will get an idea that, okay, how many monthly messages you require. Okay. And you can estimate the cost for your agent. Okay. Also, where to check how many messages are uh, consumed from your Copilot licenses and not, and analytics, how you can check it out as an admin. Okay, I am going to show you that as well. So when you open this link, this is what it is opening. This is general estimator that Microsoft officially deployed to the GitHub, and this is the link for that. Okay, so what they have done is, you don't know anything about Copilot, and maybe you just wanted to know that, okay, how much approximately cost, it will require. Okay, so there are two ways you can configure monthly agent message in two ways, like, okay, uh, some sort of assumption, or if you want to do some manual entry for the agent, and you can just find out that, okay, what kind of what kind of you know uh, inputs are there you supply. Based on that, it will tell you that, okay, what kind of, how much would be your monthly cost, or how much messages are going to consume. Okay, so this is where it is using. I'm going to show you this in a while, but before that, let me just talk about one more interesting thing, which is billing rates. Okay, that, have you ever imagined that, okay, whenever you use any Copilot Studio, right, whenever you ask any question that how can I lodge my tax return, then how much messages it is consuming, right? We need to understand that as well. Okay, so let me just open up one of the link over here quickly, and this is where we just need to check around. Okay, so this is one of the official Microsoft documentation. Okay, and this is where it is providing you that, okay, out of your 25,000 of capacity, how many are consumed when you are doing some sort of operation to your Copilot agent. Okay, now one thing here. Okay, first is billing rate, that how many messages it will consume. Okay, and in case if you have Microsoft 365 Copilot, will it consider any message or not? And second is autonomous trigger. This is again same like your uh, generative AI orchestration agent. Okay, so whenever you ask any question and it will give the classic answer, okay, it will consume one message. Now, what is classic answer? Classic answer means, let's say, um, you have asked that, okay, I want to book a doctor appointment. What kind of, I mean, um, doctor you are looking for, and it is showing you the option, right? It's not using any AI. It just call your topic and just render that question. So that is called as a simple classic answer. Okay, generative answer. Generative answer means it look at your knowledge source and it is giving you the output according to that. So any generative answer, whenever I'm typing that how can I lodge my complaint, so at the time it call your knowledge sources, right? So at the time it uses that generative answer node. So whenever it answer one question, it will consume two messages from your overall capacity. Okay. The next is agent action. So any action of the agent. So action I didn't teach you so far. Okay, so just park at this point. But action is nothing but when you use the tool, at the time you will be having different action like Dataverse action, SharePoint action, blah blah blah, and you have added in your agent. So whenever it calls any action, it will consume five message. Then tenant graph routing for the message. So what is tenant graph routing as well? That is something I haven't teach you so far. So it's nothing but whenever you consume any data sources like SharePoint or Dataverse, at the time it uses some sort of API to get output from those knowledge sources and give you the result. So at that time it uses the tenant graph routing, tenants graph API to answer you out. So at that time it will consume you 10 message whenever you ask any question. Okay, agent flow action per 100 action. So up to 100, whenever you are having any agent flow as well, we didn't touch so far. When you use agent flow, it will consume you 13 messages. Okay. And AI tool. So AI tool again different one by one. Like say if you just use the generative AI, it will consume one message. But when you use text and generative AI tools per 10 response, you will consume like 15 messages and 100 messages. Again, like there are two, three versions over there in AI tool as well when you are using the generative AI. Again, it is based on the prompt. That is also something we haven't touched so far. So at that time you will get an idea, but this is what the table you need to consider in your mind, that what do we mean by that. Okay. So it's something that at the end, whenever you are done with your final conversation, this is how it is going to be charged. Okay, simple. All right. Now, this is way your billing is considered, and I use this agent, so finally at the end it will calculate that okay, it consumed this much of messages, and this is what will fall under the billing. Okay, and it will calculate it. Again, we don't need to worry about this at this point. I will teach you exactly what level of billing it is generating per flow, because this will more helpful when I will teach you the autonomous agent. At the time you will be able to calculate for each and everything, because right now with generative answer and this one, I mean, it will not consume those much of messages. So don't worry about that at this point. Okay, only in this table you need to understand that couple of things, like no charge they have returned over here, right? So if you are having M365 Copilot, like Copilot Studio you already have, but on top of that, many people are using the M365 Copilot as well for Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So at the time, for couple of things, it is not charging because already it is covered into that much of pricing. So they are offering complimentary over there. Okay, but let's not worry, because our purpose is only Copilot agent. I don't want to consume or maybe confuse people in between two agents. But again, it's like a what can I say is combined plan, that if you are having this, you will not consume any message from there. It by default included in your plan. That's pretty much it. Okay. So this is what about like your billing plan. Okay. Now let's see how at the tenant level this whole licensing is working. Okay, because currently you have activated the trial, so you will not be able to see that okay, what is the capacity pack, what kind of analytics you will get, what kind of admin can see as a capability, that how much their capacity is, how they can plan their capacity planning, right? We need to understand that part as well. Okay, for that, let me just open up one of my license where we have purchased that Copilot Studio Capacity Pack, which is $200 per user per month and $200 per capacity pack, and it is costing us, per month you will get 25,000 of messages. Okay, so let me just open it up so you will get an understanding that how it will work and how to assign the license to the developer as well. That's also something I'm going to talk about. Okay. So let me just open up first of all one of my tenant where I have this licensing in place. And first of all, to as an admin, just go to your Power Platform admin center. Okay. So when you are on the trial base, there is no such capacity like 25,000 or 30,000. So you are on the trial period. So at the time it will not fall anything under that. Okay. Now when you open your M365 admin center, by default it will redirecting you to the Copilot Studio section. Okay, and overall here you will be able to see the different stuff. Simply you need to go to the licensing section first. So from your admin center, go to the licensing part and open the Copilot Studio over here. So I'm just going to the Copilot Studio. Okay, right now you can see here that I'm getting here the overall capacity for my tenancy as 25,000 messages that I have purchased over here. And this is what where the capacity pack come up into picture. $200 per user per month and 25,000 I'm getting for this month. Okay. From here, you can manage that where you want to consume this capacity as an admin. Okay. So click on manage capacity section. So basically it will show you all the environment underneath this tenant. Okay, so I have this many of environment over here. Now, generally, this is again very powerful in terms of governance. Okay, because what I want is like I don't want to assign the capacity to each and every environment. I want it to be very specific that okay, maybe in Copilot Studio batch 18, Maybe I just want to provide that, okay, I have 25,000. Out of that, I want to assign only 5,000 to this environment. So whichever agent which is being built over here, it will consume from this 5,000 capacity. Again, it is very useful in many terms. Let's say if there is a very big organization, they are having different business unit, right? Let's say you are having the global IT team, but global IT has the different subdivisions, that North America, China, Asia Pacific, India, right? Different subdivisions you are having in your organization, and obviously this licensing is costly, and they want this kind of capability. So as an admin, you want that, okay, at tenant level we purchase, but we will cross charge you because it's costly for us. So maybe you need to, I buy at the organization level 25,000, but maybe for India and Asia Pacific environment, I'll only supply 5,000 capacity and tell them that, okay, if you need more, you need to, give us more money because we centrally manages the licenses. So for overall license management, it is very, very useful and easy to manage. That's the reason they have capacity as well, that okay, 25,000 you purchase. Now out of those 25,000, how much you want to assign to which environment, that you can specify here. So let's say on batch 18 I assigned 5,000 capacity. So okay, you have 5,000 quota, use it. If you need more, you need to inform us, maybe we will increase it, but again we will cross charge you internally on that. Okay, but you have that capability over here. Okay, now same way, like on this other environment, I provided another 5,000 capacity. So it's like that. I can change as well at any time. So let's say I want to increase 5,000 to 7,000. I can change it. If I have overall 25,000, right? And I allocated only 5,000 to over there. Still, I left another 20,000. So I can just refer it that and clicking on save. So that's how I can change it 7,000, and now this particular environment will have the 7,000 capacity. Okay, now let's say in future if I want that, okay, this environment as well needs some capacity, like they want to do some POC. So here you can see that now still you left 13,000, right? So maybe another 1,000 maybe you can assign to these people and save it to them. Okay, so this is how you can simply manage this capacity as a admin. Okay, so once capacity is buy at the tenant level, as from Power Platform Admin Center wise, go to the licensing. As I said, go to Copilot Studio, and overall here you can just manage it out. Okay, this is how it will work. All right. Now, one more thing I just wanted to tell you here, that overall on top of that, if you go to the capacity add-on option over here, okay, and go to the add-ons option over here, okay, from here you can check. I mean, overall here it will show you the different capacity, that okay, you just apply 5,000 capacity over here into this particular environment over here and check this out. Okay, on top of that, if you want to buy any additional add-ons, you can buy that as well. And now I'm just showing you one more thing over here, that okay, currently if you look at the billing plan for this overall admin center, just give me a minute. Probably I'll not be able to see this here, just give me a minute. Okay, let's say, as I said, that any developer who is assigned over here for any kind of licenses at your Copilot studio level, right? You just wanted to assign the developer licenses to them. Now, how to assign the developer license? Let's just talk about that as well. Okay. And again, when you look at this over here, manage messages, you can manage some messages from here. And there is one more section also available where you can see the usage of your messages and all, which I'll show you in a while. Just go to the Copilot section over here. Just go to the Copilot Studio over here. And over here, you can check the different things. Currently, mostly I'm not be able to see any analytics just because of I don't have that much of insights in my Copilot agent. But just a minute, let me just check one thing. Overall, let's say how many agents you have, and per agent, if you just wanted to look out that how many messages are consumed by which agent, and you want to manage that overall thing. Overall here as well, underneath manage section, you will be able to see Copilot Studio section. Here you can see all the agents that are being deployed in your tenancy. Okay, and you can see like who are the owner when it was created, and that entire thing you will be able to manage it from here as well. And when you click on any specific agent, you will just redirect it over there to that agent from here. Okay, so at least from here as well you will be able to get some information out. All right, now the question arise like, okay, now I want to talk about the specific Copilot user license that I need to assign, right? So for that, simply that activity is to be done by the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So just go to the admin section. Okay, and I'm just opening one reference link for you as well, so you can simply follow that and do that if you really want to do that. Generally, most of the time, I mean, your organization's people already know about this thing, but just in case if you get some knowledge around that, I'm just showing you that process over here. Okay, simply you need to go to the M365 Admin Center first, which I'm already opening it out. Okay, you need to go to the billing section. Okay, you need to go to the licensing section, billing and purchase services. Okay, and just a minute, your products. Okay, this is what is showing your products and benefit information. So in your organization, whatever product you are having, you will be able to see those options over here. Okay, simply go to the bills and payment options over here where you can see the bills and payment information, and licenses will show you all the available licenses at your organizational level. You will be able to see that. And over here you can see right now that Copilot Studio user licenses. So I have one Copilot Studio user license available over here. Okay. Now simply, you can manage billing or buy more licensing of your product using this particular option. So once you click on that, click on add more products. So basically it will redirecting you to this type of Microsoft portal. And over here, search for Copilot Studio. Okay. When you search for Copilot Studio, it will show you this option, Microsoft Copilot Studio, and you can see that $0 per license. So this is what you need. But again, your admins need to add that at your tenant level. So just click on detail section over here. So what they say is, okay, when you request them that, okay, we have 5 developers where we need the Copilot Studio capability because they are the developer, we need that capability. So admin can just go to this section. They just select that Microsoft Copilot Studio user license, and maybe for 1 year I want to provide, okay, billing frequency because it's almost like a $0. And let's say I have five developers, I'm selecting five and click on buy. It will not obviously at your tenant level, your credit card and everything is to be added before you buy. It's $0 price, but simply when you make the buy order within some minutes, basically you will be redirected to the checkout page, and you will be have those license available, and then your admin can assign this license to specific users so they have the developer access and they can utilize those credit that are available for the Copilot Studio. Okay, but this is one step that they need to do as a checkout. So over here you can see that my billing information already set up over here. It's $0, and now I can just terms apply condition place order. I'm not placing it right now because I'm not needing this now, but this is how, $0 license as well you require and need to assign the to the person. Okay, so that's also you need to do. This is what at the very high level I'm just trying to explain you that you require that stuff as well in your day-to-day activity. All right, so this is all about the overall licensing in the Copilot Studio. Okay, now what I'll do here is obviously like one part I'm pretty sure it is not clear, like how it is consuming that billing, like classic answer and generative answer. Maybe you'll not be able to relate that more because we haven't followed all the components so far. So just park that point. Of course, like when we do the autonomous agent, we will revisit this point again that okay, how this overall message consumption will work. So you will get exact understanding during that time. But this is at the very high level, the Copilot Studio licensing. Now I would like to pause here for a moment and open the stage for Q&A. Any licensing question related Copilot Studio, if you have any, I'm happy to jump in and answer it out. So the stage is open now for Q&A. for licensing. So let me check the chat window as well as the raising hand sequence. I can see first raise hand from Javid. You have a question?
Yes, actually, I wanted to ask a question on messages, but I think you already answered it. I thought that the message was just when you ask a question, but actually, it's more. It's not that. My second question, Drovin, is on the pay as you use, something like that.
Pay as you go. Yeah.
Pay as you go, and the third one, how for the developer's license. So you do the same ways that you just showed us.
Which one you are talking about? Sorry.
If I wanted to go on the first one, Microsoft Pay as you go,
Correct.
or the third one.
Third one is not related to Copilot Studio. As I said, this is specifically like Microsoft 365 Copilot. So again, it's the Copilot. This is this. I'm just talking about Microsoft 365 Copilot is totally different product. This is which is related to your Office application. Office means Word, PowerPoint, where you can see that Copilot icon, right? It is related to that. But what they come up with is okay. If you have already that license in place, then of course for some of the capability you don't need to pay it. But again, it just limit few of the things like you can't use all the connectors. It will be like very limited. And again, like publishing and all the other stuff as well will be limited. You can't be able to create autonomous agent and those with that licenses. But again,
Okay.
limited capabilities provide. So it's like, how can I explain you? This is, you buy Power Apps license and let's say you call Power Automate from Power Apps, then at the time you don't require Power Automate license separately, right? They come up with that native capability. The same way, if you are having that $30 license already buy, then maybe few capability you are complimentary able to use it from the Copilot. So it's like that. But if you are really interested to building the whole agent, mainly these are the two plans which you can think of.
Okay.
And again, like first plan, this is like a very costly plan. I mean, because if you consider 25,000 with this message plan, it will be more than what this offers. But again, like Microsoft is still recommending this because when you are new at the organizational level and if you just want to try out the capability, maybe this is the way to go with. But once you are feeling comfortable, this will be the much
Okay.
cheaper plan that they are offering. Okay.
No, but let me ask you something. Let's say I just want to have a license so that I can do some POC.
Yes.
So I think can I say that the first one is more advantageous?
Yes, you can. You can do that. But again, if you just want to do POC, I would say just activate the trial, which is giving you 30 to 90 days of thing. And right now, this product is new, so they are allowing this trial to be activated 2 or 3 times. So almost like
Okay.
for a 1 year, you don't need to buy anything because they are fairly new. Same way like Power Apps 2 years back, they are offering that, but now they stopped that. So same way right now, this product is fairly new. So even your trial is expired after 30 days, it's extend up to 90 days. And even after 90 days, you can still activate your trial. It is possible right now.
And it is possible to have the developers like you just said. How you said developer
Yeah,
Copilot.
developer. Yeah. So for trial, you don't require that developer user license or anything. Trial, if you activate it, that's fine. I mean, you can completely try it out in your
Okay.
tenancy. You don't require any additional thing for that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. You answered my question. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Yep. Now I can see raise hand from Raj. You have question?
Yeah, Dravin. Does this have, can we do, not in the organization side, can we do like our own trial license?
Organization means don't business
I
account,
mean,
correct?
yeah, not a business account, like a personal account.
No, you can't. You
We
must
can do it.
require a business account. You must require a business account to activate the trial. So with personal account, you can't be able to activate that because this is like enterprise level capability, and that's the reason why they must ask for the business account only.
Hmm. So when we say business account, what exactly they'll ask? Do you know that?
Business account means it should have some domain like raj at the
Mhm.
rate tcs.com or raj at the rate infosys.com. I mean,
Is that
some
enough,
domain should
or
be there.
do they ask any business documents or anything like that? Just having a
No.
company email ID is enough, or
Yeah, company email ID is enough. Company when you so again like Office like I mean you should be a part of Office 365. I mean Microsoft 365. So whenever there is a business account, like
yeah,
say this is my account which is through win@powerplatformtrainings.com. So again like this organization has purchased licenses. So they are already a part of M3, overall Microsoft 365. So then this
got it.
Copilot Studio you can activate that out. But let's say if you're just having your business account but your company is not using any Microsoft product, then of course not.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's just like a Google Gemini or they if they are using some other product than Microsoft, then you can't be able to do that. But at least you will be able to. I mean, even if you create the tenant with the business account, at least they allow you at this point.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Next, I cannot see any more raise hand. All good, perfect. Let me check chat window quickly. Okay, I do not see any more raise hand over here as well. Okay, perfect. All right. So now I would just like to take reaction from the audience. Just give me the reactions, at least the both the licensing type and how the consumption is going to happen. If it is clear for you, maybe just give me some sort of reaction so it's clear for everyone. Okay, perfect. So this is all about Copilot Studio licensing. Here now we'll take 5 minute break, and after that we will start our next topic, which is SharePoint as a knowledge source. We are going to do that, and I'm going to give you one homework exercise as well, which I'm going to explain you after the break. All right. So it's a 5 minute break time. All right. Hope everyone is back from the break. Maybe just give me the reactions if you are back. Hello. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now let's get start with one more level up. Okay. And before that, I would just like to give you one homework exercise. And again, I'm going to show you that as well, how to do that a little bit. So that's something as a part of your homework activity you need to do. Let me just open this up. I think someone's mic is on. Make sure your mic is turned off, please. Right, perfect. So the exercise that I have over here in this class is use case number 3. Again, this is like similar like in class number 2 or 3. I have given the similar exercise to you. Okay, so what you need to do is one movie agent you need to build. Okay, and what kind of feature you want to provide here is basically you need to use one knowledge source. I mean, specifically like what kind of thing you are looking for. Like, okay, you need to use some public facing website like for movie databases. We are having the website called IMDb. Okay, Internet IMDb. So generally this is where you can see the all the ratings of any movies and everything, right? Any movie which is released, you will have all this information. So simply what you need to do is you simply need to train your knowledge source. I mean, train your agent with this public facing website, imdb.com. So if anyone is looking for any movie information, it will look at this as a knowledge source and it will give you the output. Let's say this is one of the movie of 2025, and maybe when you go into detail, let's say I want to see that what's the rating for this movie, or maybe what's the star cast of this movie. Okay, if you want to have any kind of those question, maybe you can ask and it will just answer you. Okay, so number one thing is that you want to do. Okay, second thing which I wanted to add within the same use case, you need to create some topic as well, where you just provide some sort of information. Like, okay, you can book the movie ticket, and you can just ask that, okay, which movie you want to book, what's the preferred movie time for that, what's the email address and phone number, what language you want to see the movie. Okay, I just provided some examples over here. Maybe you can just have a look, and then you can select the ticket price range selection, and you select the show timing, and basically it will create an entry to your Dataverse table or maybe in the SharePoint, wherever you want. Okay, so this is what you need to do in one of the homework exercise. Okay, so movie agent is something you need to create. The solution for this movie agent is already available on my YouTube channel. You can watch it if you are not able to crack it out. I built that entire thing on the YouTube already, but based on this first two use cases, this is a combination of both of these together. So in the first one, we created topic. In the second one, we connected knowledge sources. And now this is the third one where you are going to take topic as well as you are going to create knowledge sources, and it will work as expected. Okay, and what kind of prompt to be used and everything I provided to you. Okay, so simply I'm just showing you some of the steps to you over here. The knowledge base and everything you will configure by your own, but at least two things I wanted to showcase to you, which we will quickly do it out right away. Okay, so let me just do one thing over here. So to start with this agent creation journey, simply click on new agent. Obviously you will start from the solution, not like me I'm doing right now. So I'm just copy paste one of my prompt over here. I'm not trying to explain you the prompt because it's just a natural language. So you are a movie agent, and blah blah blah, you will do this activity, and you can book the movie ticket booking and all, and click on enter. So it will create the agent name as well as a description automatically for you. Okay, I don't want to do lots of change, but again, you can tweak it if you want. So it just created everything for you. Okay, please confirm if you have any theme in mind. It's suggesting like Cinema Guru. This is my agent name. Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, good. So let it to be create the same name Cinema Guru over here, and it just changed this name over here. Perfect. I'm pretty much happy with the stuff over here. Okay, and now I'm just clicking on create at this point. And again, for this, try in this fashion, enable the generative AI from the beginning itself, because this time I want to create the topic completely based on the generative AI, and it will is totally based on the natural language only. Okay, because now we understand the power of Gen AI. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just turn on the orchestration from here from the beginning itself. All right, and let it to be changed. First of all, let it to be created. Let's wait for a moment to everything is to be created. Okay, so it's done. All good, perfect. Looks good to me. Click on publish at this point. Okay, and then you can start configuring your knowledge source as well, which is your IMDb website, like this website, imdb.com. Okay, so I'm just copying this website over here quickly. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to the knowledge, add knowledge. I'm not doing it right now. You need to simply select public facing website, need to provide the source, provide name, description, everything I teach, what the purpose of the ownership, I mean official record, that is also something we added, add to the agent, and it will add that. I'm not doing any extra steps over here, but you need to finish the other stuff for the public facing website over here. Okay, so you can just add that, and then you can start creating a topic. So again, this is a more, I will start from the Copilot itself because I don't want to do everything by my own. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I already explained that what this entire agent is all about. That okay, people can ask, select the movie, they can select the pricing, timing, everything, right? So based on that, I created one prompt, like natural language prompt. I'm just copying this entire prompt over here, pasting this whole prompt over here, and I'm just providing that book or ticket. That is the name of my topic. Okay, and simply clicking on create, so it will create that entire topic structure for me automatically. You don't need to even add one by one question to your topic over there, because it provides that complete capability. And this is the GNAI specific one, so you can see here as well in trigger, you can see that what this tool is doing. It automatically create this description as well, what movie you want to watch, it created this option. Then what's the email address, it created that as well. What's the phone number, what's your choice. Again, it is throwing some error here because you need to obviously solve this error, because it's just checking that condition. So maybe you just need to be very specific on that. It created this question, choose the language. After choosing the language, it asking for the price, and after price it will showing the timing, and then showing the confirmation message over here, and then yes, successfully book. Again, you can add your database as well here, which you need to do it again by your own. Okay, so these are the changes. You can tweak it and do it over there. Okay, so this is like one homework exercise which you need to do, which cover up all the up to 5 class topic summary plus GenAI integration orchestration, and just do it that by your own. Okay, and in the file I provided the reference link as well, where you can find the solution if you stuck somewhere. Okay, but this is what you need to do in your homework exercise. Okay, so now let's go. You can do this homework before the Friday or maybe during your weekend as well. It's totally up to you. But at least do it. So you will gain the confidence up to this point. Okay. So this is all about the homework exercise. Okay. Just give me the reactions. At least you understand that what's the homework exercise. If the definition is clear for you, maybe just give me the reactions around that. Okay, perfect. So this is what you need to do. Right now, we'll to go one more level up, and this time we are going to start with the SharePoint as a knowledge source. Okay, and let me tell you, in SharePoint now many different capabilities are introduced in the Copilot Studio. From earlier, not all the capabilities were there in the Copilot Studio with the SharePoint, but now you can do much more thing over there. So now let's try to explore this thing one by one over here with the example. Okay, so for that, let me just quickly do one thing. Let me create one more solution for today's class, and let's start creating agent from their scratch. Okay, so first exercise that I just wanted to do it over here. Let me just explain you the use case first, so you will get a better understanding around that. Okay, so let me just open up my tenant. Let me just close all the unnecessary thing. Batch 23 div, perfect. Okay, and let me just open up my solution, and let's create class 05 solution first. Taking some time to open this up. So I'm clicking on new solution, Copilot Studio, class 05. Okay, I'm just selecting my, just a minute. I'm just using another tenant, so I just need to recreate this out. In your case, you don't need to recreate it again because I have some of my SharePoint site already set up for the demo. So I'm just using this one. Clicking on create. Okay. And now let's create a new agent first. And then let me just open up my two SharePoint site and explain you the use case over here. So Copilot Studio use case. Okay. And I have sales. So the number one thing I just wanted to explain, let me just create an agent. And first, I'm just creating a simple agent. I'm not providing any fancy description and all because now you know the whole process that uh, how it will work. So I'm just providing a very simple prompt over here that I want to create one agent which give me the information about how many people have inquired for the Power Platform trainings. Okay, now I'm just hitting this prompt over here, and let me just set up some context around that. So in SharePoint, I do have one SharePoint list called training inquiry. And this inquiry list is something which is configured with one of my Microsoft form, where someone is submitting any kind of training inquiry. It just make an entry into this SharePoint list, and it has their basic information like their name, their email, their phone number, their references, from where they get our reference, job title, or any which training they are interested for. Okay, so this type of information they are having from the SharePoint list. All right. Now the thing is that when you talk about the SharePoint as a knowledge source, what kind of knowledge source Copilot Studio is supporting? Earlier, if I talk about 6 months back, SharePoint with Copilot Studio only work on the documents, which means that on your document library, on your file, only those are supported. SharePoint list was not supported earlier. They introduced this new capability just a few months back for connecting the SharePoint list as a knowledge source. So now if you are having SharePoint list and if you are ask any question from your list, it will answer that. Okay, so this is SharePoint list example. And second use case we are going to talk about is library level as well. So let's say this is my another SharePoint site. And here I do have the a different kind of sales report, sales proposal. Let's say I have some PowerPoint files, some PDF files, some Excel files, some Word files, some PDF files, right? Now the thing is that I want to consume these files in the as a knowledge source, and when user asking the question, I want to get the answers from this particular file. Okay, so I wanted to talk about both the things. Number one is SharePoint list, and second one is SharePoint document library. And again, both the thing has its advantages as well as a disadvantages as well. Let me tell you from the beginning itself, list SharePoint list as a data source still doesn't give you the promising result. Of course, like good result it is providing, but not like what we are expecting like completely on the natural language side, because they are constantly improving that connector. So maybe in the future you will get a more better result around that. But at least right now, let's connect it out and let's show you, let me show you that result as well. Then I will talk about that. Okay, if you are having the very large data source in the SharePoint and list, then how it will work during that time as well. Okay, and every, as I said, like every connector in the Copilot Studio has come up with some sort of limitation, that how much maximum file you can have, what's the maximum file size it will support, what's the extension it will support. Okay, we'll talk about that as well during this same session. But at least in today's class, we'll not focus more on the limitation. We will focus more on the capability. And then the next class, we'll talk about like more different limitations over there. Okay, so let's get started with this overall knowledge source configuration for the SharePoint. Okay, so I already created this agent. Okay, and I just provided my description that this is what it is providing as the information, and it is suggesting some name, that training inquiry bot. You want to provide any name for that? Yes, I think I'm good for that. I'm just going yes, all good. And it created this kind of description for you, that this agent provide the information about the number of people who has inquired about the Power Platform trainings. It ensures accurate and up-to-date response by accessing the relevant databases and data sources. And the task instructions are: provide information about number of people who have inquired about Power Platform trainings, ensure responses are accurate and up-to-date, access relevant databases and resources to retrieve the required information. The response should be clear and concise manner. Maintain the professional and helpful tone. I think I'm pretty much happy with all the content which is created by AI automatically. Okay, I don't want to add any additional instruction to my Copilot at this point. I'm simply making it click on create, and now you understand that how fast we are creating now agent, because first two class we did entire thing by our own, because at the time you don't have any idea on the overall agent thing. But now at least you understand that, so we will use more AI to create the things and focus on the more functionality part. Okay, so let it to be create will take some moment in order to set up the agent. Let's wait for a moment. It's created perfect, provided the instruction over here and description over here looks good. Now what you do as a next step, simply for this as well, I'm turning on the generative orchestration, because now moving forward in all the future agents will simply go with the modern I mean generative AI orchestration only. So I'm just turning this on. All good. Perfect. And now we'll start configuring our knowledge source as a SharePoint. So let me just go to the knowledge section over here. And over here, let me click on add knowledge section. As soon as you click on the add knowledge section, you will be able to see the section for the SharePoint connector. So SharePoint is available over here. Simply use this SharePoint connector over here. So let's click on that. As soon as you click on that, there are two options available. Either you can provide the URL over here, or you can provide browse item section from here. Okay. Now, let's say whenever you are targeting any specific list, I would say copy and paste the whole URL, or maybe you can approach this as well. Go to browse items. When you go to browse items, over here, go to the my list section. Okay. When you click on my list section, it will expose all the list which is available in your different SharePoint site. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is, again, this site is available on this one. Training inquiry is the list name, and it is available to this Copilot Studio use case site. Okay, and this is like a whole URL of the list. Okay, so what I'm doing here is simply I just go to the my list and let me search over here for training inquiries. If I can find any list related to that, let's see. Okay, so I found some folders and all good, no issues. You can go to the recent list section as well, and recent list will easily show you the information, because when you open the list, it will fall under your recent. So from here it's very easy to bring this information from here. So I just access this list so I can find it from here directly. So pick up that list from here, training inquiry list, and click on confirm selection. So I'm just clicking on confirm selection. And if you look at the now, it will provide you the same URL over here. So, either you can browse item or you can copy paste the URL, both will work. So instead, you don't want to go there, go to the SharePoint, copy your whole URL from here and paste it here and enter. This is also work, but we already added that, so it's showing me the error. Okay, so this is how you can add your list. Now, as I said, as per the best practice, always when you configure any data source, make sure you just provide the proper name and description. Okay, so I'm just providing over here like training inquiry information, and I just provide here like what this is all about. This list covers all the information like and the other good way to maybe provide the better description, if you don't want to type it by your own, maybe you can use AI as well to generate your description. But again, let's just provide it properly, like what information it covers. So it covers like a candidate name, candidate email, phone number, reference, job title, interested for, okay, all this information it covers, right? So what I'll do here is I'll just provide over here that I'm just going over here. This list cover all the information like candidate name, uh, reference from, email address, phone number, course where they are interested in, and their job title and their job title. Okay. Now what can I do here is, even if you want to make this prompt much more better, you can do this thing. Okay. You know already which column you are having in your list, right? Copy this structure over here. Okay, take a screenshot. I'm just going to my chat GPT quickly here. Okay, pasting this screenshot, and I just provide that I need to provide some description about what this data source all about. And what we need to do is simply go there, and whatever you generated in the plain text, copy that and provide here as well. Okay, uh, you can just add like example. Okay, and now hit enter. So this will make the better description for you, and more better description, more good result you will get in your Copilot Studio. Okay, again it becomes so descriptive here. Okay, like this data source contain inquiries from the potential candidate interested in the various training program that includes candidate name, email address, phone number, blah blah blah, and this is what it is. Okay, I would be more specific. Make single paragraph, not more than 150 words. Okay, I'm just making more specific. Okay, so it become properly the whole content for me. If you are not good at writing the thing, maybe you can use this help of AI as well. Paste it. Okay, perfect. And click on add to agent. Right. Let's wait. And again, remember one thing, whenever you are adding the SharePoint as a data source, okay, it will available to the authenticated users only, which means that it will follow the complete authentication of the SharePoint, which means that, when you are running your agent, it will know your context that, okay, what user access you are having. Do you have the access of that list or not? If you do not have the access of that list, probably you will not get any response. It will only respond if you have proper access of your SharePoint level. It will consider all your security, like row level security, as well as your site level security, everything it will follow it completely, because it is only available for the authenticated end user only. Non-authenticated people cannot access the data from the SharePoint. Okay, so this is what they have as a uh, highlighted word, that it will work only for the authenticated end user. Okay, let it to be work. It will take some moments in order to add that knowledge source into your Copilot agent. Will take some time. Okay, let's wait for that. All right, I'm just waiting for a few minutes and let's see how it goes. Do not just close this window, keep it as is. Okay, will take some moments. Now, another question at this same time, it will prompt up in your mind that, okay, Dhruvin, uh, does SharePoint list work only on the smaller set of data? Or let's say, even if I have like more than 5,000 row, 100,000 row, this will work. So let me tell you one thing. Generally, whenever you are going to your SharePoint, okay, and when you open your SharePoint list, so let's say this is what I have as a list, training inquiry, okay, and I'm just going to my list setting over here quickly. Okay, currently you can see here I have this much of columns at this point. Okay, and still my data is manageable. I don't have like a very heavy volume of the data. Okay, but let me tell you that when you are having more than 5,000 record, you need to specify your index column in the SharePoint. Now, what is indexing? It's more on the SharePoint topic. SharePoint people already know what is indexing. Okay, so index column is something that, okay, you just need to go there, and let's say if you want to consume the Copilot Studio to retrieve the result from your large SharePoint list, at the time you need to create an index column over here. So maybe here in SharePoint you can create the maximum 20 index column. So you can simply create a new index column and you can select that, okay, what are the column that you want to provide as your index column, and those index column will be searchable, and you will get the result if any question is asked from that column to your Copilot agent. Okay, so remember one thing, small list, you don't need to do anything. But if you are having the large list, probably you need to maintain the indexing over here. Okay, so at SharePoint level, your list must be indexed only at the time your Copilot Studio will be able to make a query and able to find out the answer from it. Okay, so remember about that thing on the SharePoint side, specifically about the size of your list. Okay, so this is one thing. Now let's see whether it's finished or not. So you can see it finished, but it throw me an error over here, right? It didn't added that list successfully to me. Okay, don't worry. This can happen. Okay, what you need to do is simply refresh it one more time, because sometimes it's throwing the status as error, but behind the scene it's already processing. So you can see the refresh icon here. Click on that and let it to retrieve the latest status. Okay, hopefully it will train properly. Let's see. Okay, see, because we just created the prompt, and we just hit enter, and it just added that. So during that time maybe it's just taking more time, so it was throwing you an error. But looking at the error, don't get yourself discouraged. Just click on the refresh button over here. It will pull out the latest status. In case even after the refresh it will show you the error, they have the retry option as well. So you just need to simply retry that again, so it will again try to train your knowledge source. Okay, so right now it is doing perfectly, and this is what I'm looking for. Let me click on this. Okay, and again it is saying that, okay, saving changes may impact the publish agent. So again, when you change anything over here, make sure after that you can just publish your changes afterwards. Okay, so same way, like here is your description, here is your name. If you want to make this as official source, you can make it, otherwise you can keep it. It's totally up to you. I'm not changing anything at this point. I'm simply republishing my agent. That's pretty much it I wanted to do at this point. Okay, and my list source is configured at this point. Now let's test this out, like, okay, what kind of answer it is giving uh giving to us over here when we are querying to the SharePoint. Okay, right, so let it to be. Okay, perfect, so it's done. All good. And now it started with this. And again, this is a generative agent. So what I'll do here is I'll turn on this activity map as well on. So we will know that exactly how it is making a query over there. And now let me just ask some question to here and let's see what kind of answer it is giving to us. Okay. Now remember one thing over here that whenever you are building this agent for the very first time and you just added the data source, right? It didn't take much time. They are claiming that SharePoint is a live connector, which means that whatever data is in your SharePoint list, at the same time, it will reflect in your chat agent as well. So let me just ask some question over here that how many students has inquired for the training? Okay, let's ask a very simple question and let's see what kind of response it is giving to us. Okay, so we just prompted this thing over here and let's see what will happen. It go to the knowledge source. It look at the SharePoint list. You can see on the fly on this list itself that it searches the knowledge. Okay, let's see what it come up with. It is asking me the authentication. Only one time it will ask you. You need to click on allow over here because as I said, this agent will only work for the authenticated agent. It will not work for the non-authenticated agent. So in future as well, in upcoming class, we are actually going to publish this agent to Microsoft Teams, to our M365 Copilot. So you will get better idea that what do we mean by that authentication and how many type of authentication will work. Or let's say if you don't want users to prompt the authentication, how you can avoid that. All these situations we will cover up into upcoming class. But let's just click on allow at this point. Now remember one thing, when sometimes you are trying to allow from here, okay, it will not take the reflection. Okay, it just going you prompt, I mean it just showing you the progress bar here and there. Okay, don't worry if this is happening, restart your chat agent. Okay, simple. I'm restarting here and I'm asking my prompt again here that how many students inquired for the training. Okay, and now let's hit enter and see what will happen. Okay, look the activity map going to the knowledge source. Oh my god, it's still not. Let me click on allow. Let's wait for a moment. This can happen. I think it will take some time after allowing as well. Sure, just a minute. Let's wait this to be respond. Let it to be. And this is something not, it will not connect each and every time. I mean, it's just a matter that when you are actually publishing the application, single sign-on will be enabled at that time. So let's say if you have integrated in your Teams, basically it will take your Teams context that, okay, Teams, which user you sign in with, and basically it will take that authorization over here and open up over here. Only during the test it is asking. And usually, when this is a little bit buggy, I was knowing because before this class as well, I was facing the similar issue, but when I hit refresh after that, it was working absolutely fine. But okay, I think I don't have access to real-time database or specific statistic. I'm not sure. It didn't answer it right now. Okay, because I don't think so. It just allowed the permission. Let's see for a moment. Maybe otherwise I'll just refresh the screen one more time. I'm refreshing it again. Let me just do one thing. Let me just refresh this page as well one more time. Let's see. Please connect it. I think it will prompt again, I believe, because it's taking more time in order to respond me this out. Let's see. All right. Meantime, I can see two raise hand. Let me just go with the question first while this is happening. So I can see first raise hand from Sri Lekha. You have question? Okay, I think she already asked in the chat window. Every time it will connect? No, it will not connect every time. No, it's not showing me. I don't have access to real-time databases because it didn't this time it didn't allow us to prompt, and even didn't allow us to connect. This is what happened. Okay, let's see. Just making sure my connection is proper. Yes, it's going properly. It's going here as well properly. It's ready as well. Training inquiry information. Let's publish. Table, just a minute. I'm just going to the tool section. Just a minute. Let me just quickly check one thing here. It's already loaded. It's already generative AI orchestration. Close it, test it. I prompted. If this will not work, what we'll do is we'll just re-add our knowledge source again to just make sure that it will retrieve the information from it. And let me just make sure I'm in the correct environment, which is right. No such issues in that. Okay, meantime, I'm just saying couple of raise hands. Raj, you have any question? This is happening.
Yes, Ravi.
Yes, please
So
go ahead.
how the securities will reflect? For example, in SharePoint we have site or a library, right? Certain permissions to only certain groups. So when we are
Correct.
giving that library as a source, if this agent is used by any other people, how that securities reflect here?
It will not used by any other people. I mean, what happened is when this agent is done, when you are publishing this agent, there are specific channel only when you can publish this agent. So let's say when you publish to your Teams or M365 Copilot, it offers the single sign-on, which means that
Hmm.
Teams already have that email address, I mean user identity. So using that, it will identify and give you the result. If it is an external facing website like okay, Facebook or web app or demo website, and when you are
Hmm.
integrating over there, it will first prompt them that okay, tell me your identity, which means that it will ask you to log in. I mean in M365 portal first. So during the chat, when they reach up to this point, it will ask their identity. They enter their email address and they will get some code in the it is default Microsoft mechanism. They get one
Okay.
code, they need to enter that code. Once it is verified, only after that they will get the information. Apart from that, it will not be. So they do that entire login authentication in inbuilt. I mean, there are different authentication mechanism available, which again I'm going to talk about in the next class. But yeah, it
Okay.
fully secure and it totally respect the SharePoint permissions that you are having there. Okay.
And one more question, follow-up question for
Yeah.
that is, can we share this bot to like individual users, like in the sense, only for a couple of people or
Yes, you
only to
can.
the particular SharePoint group,
You
something
can,
like that.
you can. So it's totally up to you that, okay, when you are targeting teams or maybe when you are deploying over that, that how many users you want to target for. So during that time,
Mhm.
you can have that option that which security group you wanted to share it with. So yes, you can.
Ah, thank you.
Perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Shankar. You have question? Yeah, I can see your question in the chat window. Maybe is it the only thing, or do you have any other question as well? Maybe if you so just speak it up. Okay, I can see his first question is how do we handle the scalability of the search? Is it configurable for a set of number of concurrent users? So look, there is no such option that can be handled internally by Microsoft. Here that they don't provide any functionality like like in Flow, how many concurrent requests you can handle. That is an option available, but here it's not. So at the same time, multiple people can access the same agent. The search will work. I mean, it's auto scale. I mean, there is no such configuration at the agent level that you can do at this point. That's what it is at this point of time. Maybe in future if they introduce, I don't know, but right now no such options. Okay, and your second question is added the website from the main URL. Does it index all the pages or does it index all PDF link to LinkedIn? The pages of the web pages. So let me tell you, yes, when you provide the main URL, it will index all the pages that are available underneath that site. But on the other hand, it will not cover up any document. So if in your website, if you are having some PDF attached or any link reference of the PDF or physical PDF or physical files like Word file or anything, it will not index those. It will not be able to find out the answer from that, because if you want to find out the answer from that, you need to upload that as a separate file. But as a URL format, no, it will not support at this point. It will only index the content of the site, not like inside that if you are having so many documents, it will index that. No, that's not going to happen. So this is how it will work. Okay.
Can you hear me okay now?
Uh, Hello, are you saying anything? Sorry, your voice is very low.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead with your
Okay.
question.
Yeah, so regarding the scalability aspect of it, see, the search experience is pretty slow here. See, when we're implementing a Copilot chart foundational experience, right, putting this solution for 10 years is different from 200, maybe 10,000 years. How do, as an administrator or a solution provider, how do I provision a solution that is scalable and also provide a good response time?
So currently it is not. That is the truth. I don't want to set any unexpected expectation at this point on this search result. So this entire Copilot Studio that you can see right now, no matter if you're connecting SharePoint or Dataverse or any other connector, it's not that fast that you are expecting. I mean, and currently there is no such configuration as well around that. So you really can't do, I mean, as a developer's perspective, let's say if I'm building this board, I really can't do anything that, okay, if I change my prompt a little bit, maybe it will become faster. No, there are no such configuration at this point. And again, that's the reason right now they are not promoting that as a, like, for entire organization or for maybe all the users just to use it out. Okay, for small groups, probably you can start using right now, but maybe in the future when the product becomes stable and they have more option, you have more configuration options. But right now, honestly, no. I know in SharePoint you have so much capability that you can index your list, as well as you have the dedicated search query option where you can customize your search result if you want, and depending on that, search can get more faster result to you. But when you are integrating with the Copilot Studio, basically behind the scene, it is using the Graph API to talk to your connector and giving the data in a natural language. Okay, and that graph mechanism is something which is nowhere they have published that exactly how it is working, and if we need to tweak a little bit as a developer perspective for this search, No, you really can't. And honestly, with my experience as well, use this product from last 1.5 year, I didn't see any use case where customers convinced to use this for 5,000 people. Even I didn't see this use case, so I didn't have an idea as well that okay, when it goes with 5,000 people, how it will react. Maximum I have seen this kind of agent deployed with 200, 500 people. For that, I know. I mean, based on my experience, it is giving the smooth result. I mean, of course search will take time. You can't expect this search to be happen just within 1 second because it's a whole natural language processing. Even it's with any AI model. Even right now, if you go with the chat GPT and if you ask any question, obviously it is taking some seconds. And again, depending on the license plan and all, they are giving the response. Same concept is here as well. So I mean, uh, hopefully, I mean, I'm not able to answer you completely. Like it's not in your hand or it's not in my hand basically at this point.
Yeah. So one more thing, Ruben, is regarding the see now you have a website. It's able to crawl through and build the indexes and do all that, right? But it's not able to go through the links or the content that's where the links. I mean the content in PDF documents. So what if I have some kind of LLM or vector database already crawled through, can I augment that in pre-existing vector database as a knowledge source for Copilot Studio?
So your question is you have a website and you have links in within the website which is on your page. So your question is like when you make any query, I mean if your website doesn't have that content, probably it will go to your reference links and I mean find out that content for you. Correct? Is it what you're trying to ask me?
So, so I have a lot of PDF documents on my many
Sorry, your voice
web
is not
pages.
exactly clear that I'm hearing. Maybe if you just come closer to your mic, I mean, I would be
Yeah,
able
how
to
about
understand.
now? How about
Yeah,
now?
it's better, but not that great. But yeah, go ahead.
So if I have a website which has a lot of PDF documents, if this website is hosted on a SharePoint, but since it's not crawling all the PDF documents, what if I have a vector database which already crawled through all this? Can my existing vector database augment your can I add a vector database as a knowledge source
Which vector
to
database you
Copilot?
are talking about here? Vector database means, I mean, any structured database that you
LLM,
referring.
LLM based vector database. If I have
LLM.
an LLM based,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. No, at this point, no. You have very limited capability over here. If you want to use it out, probably you can just go with the Azure AI Foundry. There you can configure some of the vector-based databases. I mean, large language model data sources. But right now, over here, you have the limited capability with the knowledge sources at this point. I mean, all the native connectors, most of the things they are supporting, you can see these options. Only those options are available at this point. So not like any of the vector dataset you can configure as a knowledge at this point on top of this LLM.
thank you very much.
All right, perfect. All good, perfect. And now let me see. Okay, I do not see any more reason. All good, perfect. Now what I need to do now, I'm not able to, get the answers from it. Maybe what I need to do is maybe the only thing left for me to make this happen is let me just delete this knowledge source for a temporary basis. Okay, I need to re-add that knowledge source because it's not able to even authenticate with my things. I'm just restarting this one again. Okay. Meantime, I can see raise hand from Raj. You have any question?
Yeah, yes, Dravin. I mean, in general, question this is so when you said about AI, Azure AI Foundry, right? Can you
Yes.
give like high level difference between what can be done here, what cannot be, what possibilities are there? Not now, if possible. tomorrow or any time.
Yeah, I will give because
Whichever.
I personally didn't use this product. I mean, Azure
Yeah.
AI Foundry, I explored, but I'm not expert into that. So even like what possible versus what not, because I didn't build any projects based on AI Foundry. I did little bit
Mhm.
of training, little bit of sessions around the AI Foundry, but not like actual project-based implementation. I get a chance to do it with any of
Mhm.
my customers so far. So not a right person to answer on that, but again, like learning is something which I'm always doing. And but again, I have seen whatever my initial founding is, what I find is Azure AI Foundry has more flexibility in terms of customization. You can do more scripting again because it's targeted more pro code. So of course you can use more Python scripting, more machine learning language model. Plus it has more capability that what model to use as your large language model, right? As his question was vector based
Yeah.
data source, he already have, and if he want to use that as a base model to answer the queries, he can do it over there. There is an option over there as well that no matter only on the Microsoft space, non-Microsoft space large language model as well you can use in AI Foundry. Like you don't need to just be stick with the GPT model. You can do DeepSeek model. You can use Gemini model, and in DeepSeek as well there are multiple references you can use it. So basically they are providing one central place where different products of the AI domain can be consumed, and they can just cross charge you. So for DeepSeek model, if you want to use it, there is specific like a configuration plan that okay, you just need to pay this amount to use this model depending on number of queries that you are making. Pay it and just get it out. So again, like more flexibility over there. While in Copilot Studio, it's they try to make it like completely business specific and completely like low code. So even if you don't know any programming here, you don't need to think too much. I mean, I connected site and that's it. And this is by default they provide the specific response model that are more stable to the Microsoft space, and with whom Microsoft has more partnership with, or from where they can make more money. While there you have more power in your hand, you can much more flexibility onto that part. But again, flaws are also there. Like if you want to integrate
Yeah.
it with somewhere else, you need to do lots of other code work, and then probably you can do it. Authentication and those things are not so easy like here that we are seeing. So yeah, I mean, come up with advantages and disadvantages both the way. So yeah, that's it. But honestly, like I didn't explore full product end to end, like what exactly it offers or not. Maybe that is something my I mean this 6 month part is something where I'm exploring that product as well drastically, and we are also proposing some proposal using those product as well. So maybe next half year maybe we come up with Azure AI Foundry as well. But again, it's more exploration part for me as well right now on that product.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Perfect. All right. Now let's do one last thing. Like, okay, let's try to train the knowledge source again because we are not able to do that. Okay. And again, guys, it's not just only me facing this issue. Okay. Any one of you also face this issue. Sometimes, on website as well, if you try to configure and if it is throwing an error, not giving the proper result, maybe retrain your model. Uh, that was a solution most of the time I'm finding when I'm connecting any kind of connector. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to connect it one more time. If it is still not be able to connect it, maybe we'll continue that into next class. But let's try. Let's at least make a try that what it come up with. So let me just do one thing. I'm just providing this URL of the SharePoint list over here. Configure, edit. Okay, and I'm just providing some description which I already have in my GPT. So I'm just providing over here. I'm just training inquiry information. Click on add to agent and let's see how it goes. Okay, we'll take some moments to add that knowledge source. And let me just check because before this class as well, I created one agent with a similar SharePoint site. If I can find it somewhere, maybe I can at least show you the result. Maybe training is obviously it is failed, so we need to do it again. So let's see if not works. Maybe let me just show you the experience, what it feels like. Just going to the agent here. Is it something I created? training inquiry. This is what I did at that time. Let me just ask one prompt over here. How many users, how many users inquired for the training? Okay, let's see what it come up as a result for me. Let's see. Let's see if it is working here or not. It is not been able to generate here as well. So I think there is literally some issue around that. Just a minute. This is erroring out here as well. Let me refresh this page again. Let me see in my default environment. I don't have anything here as well. No. Let's wait. Otherwise, we'll just do that in the next class. Okay. In Copilot student, many times, again, like in future class as well, you will face this kind of glitches because again, like whenever you are building any agent, sometimes it is even taking some time in order to reflect it out. Like in last batch as well, like autonomous agent, when we go with that, it's something that sometimes the model will take some time to understand the prompt that we are giving it to it, and like there is no such official timing that they have provided that okay, your model will take exactly 10 minutes or 20 minutes to train. Sometimes even it's showing you that okay, it's done, but when you are making the prompt, it will not be able to do that. But here the problem is little bit different. I mean, it's not even allowing you for that connection. So I'm a little bit concerned about that why it's not even going into the next phase. So let's see how it goes. Usually when you allow it, after that, if you refresh it, it was working. I personally have tried that out, but let's see. It's still refreshing. It's still going into training mode. Let it to be. Taking more time. Okay, it's showing the ready now. Let's see. I'm just asking for training. I'm not expecting it will work, but let's make a try. Allow. This time it asks very early. Let's see. Finger crossed.
Dhruvan, excuse me just for 1 second.
Yeah.
This is the final thing for this class, right? Because I have a
Yes.
meeting after just in
Yes.
two
Yes.
minutes.
Yes. Yes. This is
I
final thing. You
can
can.
drop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Feel free to. Yeah. This is
Yeah.
final. If this is not going to work, even I'm going to take this over in the next class. No issues. All right.
Okay, then. Thank you
No
so much
worries.
for today's
Yeah. No
class. Thank you
problem.
all.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's not even still working. Seems like. Let's wait for a moment. Feel free to drop off, guys, if you have any urgent meeting or anything. Okay. We are going to continue from the same in the next class, as this consumed a little bit of our time. It just wasted our 10-15 minutes into just training this out and it didn't work out. Let's see.
While it's going on, doing, I have a very
Yeah,
generic question. Uh,
yeah,
I was coming out for this whole training. After licensing, we are just moving towards the SharePoint as a
source.
data source. Okay,
Correct,
and where we are facing this challenge. Correct.
correct, correct.
The list. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Thanks.
Right, perfect. Oh, it still didn't work. No problem. Let's just park this now. We don't want to waste much time over here. How many? I'm just trying one last time. I don't think so it will work. And why it's not working? Maybe it's just a matter that maybe we need to just give it to some time. Let's see. I'll just keep it as is. Maybe what I'll do is I'll try to replicate it with some another agent, and maybe we'll just resume from the same place and let's see where we'll end next time. Okay, so at least it is showing like this way. Still, it didn't ask for the authentication. I'm not sure it will ask again me or not, but didn't ask so far. Crazy. Okay. I'm expecting this will not work. So not let's wait. I mean, waste everyone's time over here. Maybe we'll continue the same thing from the next class onwards and see how far we'll go from there. All right. All right. Apart from that, anyone else has any? So it's not work anyway. Anyone else has any other question before we wrap up for today's class?
The licensing one,
Yes.
the document which you were showing is
Yes.
up to date into our document library.
Document library. I didn't
Sorry.
upload it yet. I didn't
Okay.
upload it yet. I'm
Okay.
going to upload it after class. But yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
up to date. Yep.
Because the document which we have, page 1 to 5, page number 1 to whatever,
Yes,
which
it's not up to date.
is not up
Yeah.
to date here.
Yeah, I updated it today, so I'll update the revised version after today's class. Yes, that's correct. And
Thank you.
I did all the reference link as well over here for that. Yep,
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
perfect. All right, great. Anyone else has any other thing? Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. See you in the Friday's class, and we'll just continue from where we left today. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great evening ahead. Goodbye.
You too.